Hi, friends. Today you are going to be working in your social studies slides here. Today's either Monday or Tuesday, the 19th or 20th, depending on if you're in Miss Clark's class or if you're in my class. So, we're going to be focusing on different groups of Native Americans in the regions of North Carolina. And our first region that we're focusing on is the Coastal Plain region. The Coastal Plain region it makes up nearly half of North Carolina. We know it best for its sandy beaches, but it is identified mostly by its flatland and swampy wetlands. Okay, so you obviously don't have to turn and talk, but I want you to think about what do you think about the life of Native Americans that are living in these regions was like before Europeans arrived. Think about maybe what they ate or where they lived, what tools they used, who's in charge. Okay, so these Native American groups lived in North Carolina before the European culture or European exploration, I suppose, and they're basically divided into three groups. Okay, here are our groups: Siouan, Iroquoian, and Algonquian. So, people from each of these groups lived throughout the coastal plain. They spoke different languages, they had different tribes, but they often had very similar resources, or they used similar resources from the land. So you can see those are all the different tribes. These are all different Algonquian tribes. Notice they're farther north. Okay, then these were all Iroquois tribes, and Siouan tribes are in green. Okay, so take a minute and peek at that. They lived in the area near water, so you imagine they relied on the water for their food. They hunted as well, and they grew crops. So thinking about where they lived, many of the tribes of Native Americans that lived on the coastal plain lived in longhouses or wigwams. Longhouses were made from bent poles and they were covered with bark, animal skin, or grass. And wigwams were also common, and they took thin trees that they bent into semicircles on the ground and covered them with woven mats, animal skins, or branches. As far as clothing and tools, they made their clothing out of animal skins. They wore moccasins on their feet as footwear. Women strung together shell beads known as wampum to create jewelry. And some of the tools they used here, they relied on canoes, traps, nets, spears, and then they created pottery. For the daily life, all members of the tribe played an important role. Women made food and clothes, men hunted and built shelters, everyone planted and harvested crops. Additionally, like we said before, they traded and they made pottery, jewelry, baskets, clothing, and things like that they traded as well. For their government, members of the American Indian tribes living in the coastal plain region before European exploration worked together to meet the needs of the entire village. So you are going to go to your assignment. You're going to go to the Google Doc that is attached. You're going to complete the coastal plain section of the note catcher. You are only doing the coastal plain section today. You will be doing the Piedmont in our next lesson and the mountain region on Friday. Let me show you what that looks like, friends. Sorry, I know yours isn't exactly like mine. Give me just 1 second. I'm actually going to pause you. Okay, so this is what your note catcher looks like. Okay, it's assigned to your Google Doc today, and or to your Google assignment today. I'm sorry. Today, either Monday or Tuesday, you're doing this middle row. You're going to type in what they eat, how they got it, where they lived, the tools they used, and what their clothes were made out of, what they did during their daily life, and how the government was run. All that was in the slides. Okay. So that is what you're working on today. Do not turn this in when you are done. You're going to use it again later this week. So make sure it is not getting turned in today. All right, friends, that's it. Thanks.